out everybody and no one can whoop him. Only last week, I murdered a rock, injured a stone, hospitalized a brick. I'm so mean, I make medicine sick. And I'm better now.
Yo, what's up, guys? It's your boy Chris coming at you with another episode to the Beautiful Struggle podcast, and this is episode 14. And right off the bat, I have to give a huge shout out and a huge thanks to my boy Enrico for the beat that you guys just heard. Super dope to me. I thank you for thinking about me, bro, and allowing me to use the beat. So I'll leave his information down below if you guys have any questions or if you guys want to get in contact with him. His information will be in the description of every single podcast. All right. So just to give you guys a quick overview for my new listeners out there, what you'll get from this podcast, what you'll be getting from the Beautiful Struggle podcast is you'll be getting a people sharing perspective, finding purpose, and exploring different types of hustles. All right. So really wrapping all three of those things together to help you on your path to greatness. And with that being said, someone that just recently accomplished something phenomenal in my eyes and something great is a guy by the name of Eliud Kipchoge, a long-distance runner from Kenya, Africa. Just accomplished something that just blew my mind and really was really hard for me to wrap my mind around, like how great this was, in my opinion. So what he accomplished is he broke the record for the first ever 2-hour marathon. All right, so to break it down for you guys, if you guys didn't know, a full marathon is about 26.2 miles, and he ran this full marathon just under 2 hours. He ran it in 1 hour, 59 minutes, and 40 seconds, which is 20 seconds to spare under 2 hours. He accomplished it. Crazy. Now, for the people that don't know, this was something that was considered in athletics that was not humanly possible to accomplish, and just physically people thought that you couldn't do this, that there was no way that you could run a full marathon under 2 hours. For some of us, we can't even run 5 miles under 2 hours, and that's 26.2 miles is absolutely insane. But it's crazy because there's been, hundreds of people that have attempted this, and a lot of people have came close. Eliud, one of them, he's missed it by 1 or 2 minutes multiple times throughout his career. It's really, really crazy to me. But a lot of people out there, I was reading an article that they're kind of downplaying his accomplishment and really putting out some negative vibes out there towards him, because he did have a lot of help and he had a whole team of people to help him break this record. But to me, that's what made it even more inspiring and cool to see happen. So the team that he had around him, everybody had a specific job, a specific role and duty to accomplish while Eliud was running the race. So, you had people that were pulling up in the cars right next to him, giving him water, giving him like some type of liquid that was full of carbohydrates so he can keep him going and give him fuel. But he also had pacemakers around him. So I don't know too much about long distance running, but when I did my research, from my understanding, when people run marathons, they usually have 1 or 2 pacemakers around them. And for Eliud's record-breaking marathon, the job of the pacemakers was to simply come in. He had a rotation of pacemakers, about 15 people, and their job was to simply run at a consistent pace that will allow Eliud to know the proper pace he should be running at to beat the record. So literally, I'm not sure that distance they would run at, but I'm guessing maybe like 10 miles. They would come in, run at a consistent pace, and then they would switch out. He had 5 people around him. He would switch out those 5 people, and 5 new people would come in with fresh legs, and they'll keep him at a constant pace. So I think that was pretty cool that they did. The second thing that the pacemakers had to do is they had to form a protective aerodynamic pocket around Eliud, running in an arrow formation, if you can envision that. So Eliud was kind of in the middle of the arrow, and what this arrow does, what this formation did for Eliud, it would break up the air in an aerodynamic way, thus allowing Eliud to run that much faster. So it's crazy, like the science and the precisions that went into him breaking this record. And I know I always talk about surrounding yourself with the right people, but this literally takes it to the next level. And I'm sure Eliud didn't always have this help, early on in his career, and I'm sure he's had a ton of haters since announcing that he was going to accomplish this goal. And I'm also sure that he physically had to pay a price to accomplish this. But to me, the biggest takeaway is by him breaking that record, it opens up opportunities for people in Kenya and people all over the world. More people are going to break this record. More people are going to feel inspired to go out and accomplish different things because he went out and did something that people seemed to be literally impossible. And I think after today, you're going to see a lot more people run the full marathon under 2 hours. For instance, the first time the 4-minute mile was broken, which was thought to be literally impossible at the time, was back in 1954. So back then, people didn't even think it was possible for you to run 1 mile under 4 minutes. They thought there was no way. Like, you would have to be from out of this world to accomplish that. But it was broken in 1954, and since then, over 1,400 athletes have broken the 4-minute mile mark, which is absolutely amazing. So, and I really say all of this because, on a serious note, all of us have a special gift and talent that the world needs to see and the world needs to hear about. Why? Because there's literally a generation of people that could be relying on you to accomplish something and to break barriers and to break these chains.
Goodness me, 300 meters to go. He can see the finish line here. Neil Armstrong we had on the moon in 1969. We had Roger Bannister, the 4-minute mile 65 years ago. Edmund Hillary, the first man to climb Everest in 1953. We have 1 minute to go. Eliud Kipchoge is on his way here.
It's not going to be a minute.
This humble farmer who used to run 2 miles to school every day and back. He used to go to the nearest town on his bike to sell milk at the local market. And now, through hard work and discipline, he's pointing. Come on, he says. Eliud Kipchoge has the hand of history on his shoulder.
And to me, it doesn't have to be anything extraordinary like running a marathon under 2 hours or running a 3-minute mile. It doesn't have to be anything like that because the simple form and inspiration can create a ripple effect that will be passed on for generations and generations. And just to wrap this podcast up, Euclid said something. Euclid, his name's Eliud. Eliud said something that just blew my mind. It's going to stick with me for a long time. It's probably one of my new favorite quotes. He said, "I don't know where limits are, but I would like to go there." Wow. That's something else. So on that note, guys, please share this podcast with someone that needs to hear this message. And if you guys can leave a rating and review down below, that would help this podcast reach more people. And on that note, I'll see you guys next week.
I done tussle with a whale. I done handcuff lightning, throw thunder in bed. I done handcuff lightning, throw thunder in bed.